Title isn't clickbait. I am going to give you one question that I would argue is better than 1,000 hours of team building. If you lead a team or a group or any community and you would love for them to be more cohesive, this video, this very short video, could save you a whole heap of headache and effort and wasted time at happy hours and bowling parties and whatever else. Having worked with some of the smartest teams around the world, what I've learned is that pretty much every team would like their group to be a little bit more cohesive and a little bit more high performing. And yet when I look at the agenda of how this happens, it's like we do these big offsites, or we go bowling, or there's a happy hour, and there's nothing. I like bowling. My wife really likes bowling, right? There's nothing wrong with bowling. What it is a slightly manipulative excuse for team bonding. And when I say that, it's like, oh, let's go bowling. If we were like all hyper transparent, it'd be like, hey everybody, I'm gonna take you bowling so that you get to know each other better and you work better together and there's less conflict and you communicate better. No boss is ever gonna say that, right? But the reason you would do things outside of work fundamentally link back to some degree what's happening at work. Here's the problem with that. That's 1 hour a quarter, or that's 3 hours a quarter. You then spend 40 hours a week together. And so if you wanna outpace or outperform 1,000 hours of team building, you can just roll that in because you're gonna work 1,000 hours roughly together in a half a year. In 6 months, you're gonna spend 1,000 hours working together. Average work year is 2,000 hours. I think what a lot of people overlook is the fact that working together is team building. It's like team building, you go to an offsite and you like solve a puzzle or a problem or whatever, but at work you're just solving puzzles and problems with each other all the time. The problem is like an experienced team development facilitator is trained to lead a group through an experience, a bit of a simulation of something, but that experience alone doesn't teach anything. It's in the reflection afterward. But at work, very rarely do we do this. We're busy, we're going from thing to thing. We don't actually pause to reflect on the experience. And so the one question that I would argue would outpace 1,000 hours of team building is really simply, what struck you about, and fill in the thing that's happening at work, the big presentation from the big boss that rolled out the new strategy, getting people into small groups. Friend and mentor Peter Block would say that small groups are the units of transformation. As I'm working with a bunch of chiefs of staff at Google, they're organizing an event for 1,000 people, rolling out all this new stuff. But the real change in team development and performance stuff is gonna happen as soon as that presentation from the execs end. People are gonna group up in their little cohorts of 3 to 5 people that they know and start gossiping and sharing good, bad, and otherwise news and information. As the leader of a team, if you sit people down, you're like, hey, that was a lot of stuff. I wanna just have a 15-minute stand up, and I'd love to just ask you what struck you, what really stuck out to you about that experience. And you take time to listen to each other. What it is, it's like a constant, thoughtful, not too super invasive pulse check into how are things going for you right now at work? How are you doing? What are you thinking about? What's important to you? What struck you? Like what rose to the top for you? And so now you don't find yourselves a year later wondering what somebody's thinking about this job, because all along you've been checking in and asking what struck you. And so if nothing else from this video, take this question and put it into your back pocket and toss it out whenever you feel like a check-in, because the framing and architecture of the question, what struck you, is far better than an open-ended, hey, let's have a check-in one-on-one. It can also save you a lot of time because it can happen in a hallway chat while you're walking somewhere. It doesn't need to be a meeting scheduled on your calendar. 2 quick things you might love. If you want a list of, if one question wasn't enough and you want 60 more, there's free printable version of all these questions that I've put together that's specifically designed to actually edit the future in some way. So one of the best ways to build a team is to actually ask a question that moves a group forward, right? When you only ask about stories and past and whatnot, right? One, not everybody wants to dive into that all the time at work, but when you start talking about what are you looking forward to, it gives these really great anchors for people to check in. And so you can download a free printable version of this deck or pick up the actual thing somewhere below. If you're a super nerd and you're still on this video, you would love in December. I gather several hundred practitioners, master connectors, who professionally gather groups, work on making teams more cohesive, and you will learn and experience a ton of super practical inspiration at that gathering. And there's a link to the Connector Summit below. I'm Chad. Have an awesome day.